the Rheenendal water protests, the old Cape Dutch house, and losing a loved one.
My name is Bomber Webb.
And I'm Christopher Olsen.
And you're about to listen to This Week in Sedgefield.
You know what I first want to talk about?
Yes,
Is
what's
is Glad Wrap.
Glad Wrap.
It wasn't made for me. It doesn't
It
work.
wasn't.
I don't understand it. Are you able to? I'm going to put it out there that I don't think men are able to use Glad Wrap correctly. Have you ever used it correctly or at all?
I think that's sexist.
Why?
I don't know. I don't think Glad Wrap is sexist. I think you are.
You think I am? Okay, cool. No, that's good. We want to
I
accuse
have
them.
used it. It isn't an easy thing,
Okay.
but it isn't rocket science. You know why you can't use it?
Thanks. Why?
You know why you can't use it?
I don't know.
I know why.
Why?
Because I also suffered from the same problem.
You went
in
to
my
a course.
olden day Glad Wrap days, experiences. Because we are men, and we
yes.
are men who are looking after our families.
True. Yes. Yeah.
In a hunter-gatherer sort of way, maybe.
Yeah.
We tend to try and use less Glad Wrap than should be used. So we think we'll just stretch this round the bottom of the lunchbox.
We try to be
and it'll cling
parsimonious.
on. It's cling film. It should cling on. It should just,
but it doesn't.
You got to wrap it around you got to do it like one of those suitcases they do at the airport. You got to wrap the thing hundreds of times and use 20 meters of Glad Wrap for one small portion of baked beans in a lunchbox.
Exactly, that's that. It's not frugal enough for me. I want to be.
That's it.
I want to be parsimonious in my use. There's the big word for the
In your
day.
use of big words.
In my in my use of Glad Wrap.
Okay,
But
yes,
obviously not. Hey, how do we get onto that?
I think it was that song, The Handbags and the Glad Wrap that your granddad had to sweat so you could buy. Something like that.
Something along those lines. Let's get onto something that's actually pretty serious and pretty urgent. This is also breaking news.
Breaking news
This is with
today.
regards. Yeah. Okay. Talk to us a bit about what's happening in Rheenendal.
Well, I spent the whole morning there. I must say I did get there a little bit late.
Oh, yeah?
So in Rheenendal they're marching. Marching for service delivery of water. Now, we know there's a water problem in Knysna, an infrastructure problem.
Yes, and has been for years, and it just keeps on getting neglected.
And they've run out in a few areas, and the municipality did issue a whole big long notice saying that a joint operations centre.
Yeah.
The JOC has been formed.
The JOCs are on it.
The JOCs are on it. And this is how we're going to organize things. And this is how we're going to dedicate. Yes, make sure everyone gets water. This is the plan. We're on it, basically. They're saying we're on it. We know there's a problem, but we're on it.
Yeah.
And then they're not.
They're not.
It seems.
Okay.
At least in Rheenendal. So Rheenendal hasn't had water for 12 days.
No.
12 days.
Like
this is now according to the people who I interviewed there, and they're all talking 12 days.
Yeah. So the way that I'm picturing, I mean, you've said it's a march, but the way that it looked from the videos that you were sending me was kind of a blocking of the road and a sit.
Yes,
and
I
a
suppose
gathering there.
Not a march, because then they would have got further and further away from the fires.
I think it's the correct term, but
they're protesting.
Just picturing it.
They're protesting. So they've lit fires across the road. Now, I must tell you, they used branches, no burning tires.
Good.
In fact, let me go forward a bit. I chatted to one of the guys I chatted to was a community leader there. And he said they met with SAPs and with law enforcement the night before.
Oh, yeah.
To outline what they wanted to do, why they were protesting, and also find out ways of keeping it peaceful, basically.
Yes, yeah.
They pledged to keep it peaceful.
Wow.
And the whole time I was there, they started the fires early in the morning. I got wind of it, not
literally.
I didn't smell it on the wind.
Yeah.
I heard about it at about 9 o'clock. And then the Edgemobile is out of order at the moment.
Stuck in
so I
PE.
had to wait and my son, good fellow that he
what
is,
a chap.
came around with his bucky and took me up to the fires.
Yeah.
So when I got there, the fires have been burning for a while. Large amount of pops there.
Oh.
Pops being public order policemen.
Oh,
they come in the big trucks.
Pops.
That's
all. That's the one.
They're the guys. They've got like the shoulder where the rubber. They look like Ninja Turtles.
Okay, they're there to look scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've got rifles with tear gas and whatever.
Yeah, just in case.
3 full vehicles of them there.
Whoa.
But I must say, once again, because it was so peaceful,
they
had taken off a lot of their body armor.
I'm sure.
They were just standing. They were addressing the crowd a bit.
Okay.
The crowd
keeping
basically
it orderly.
was saying, we're enough. No drinking water.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, and I don't know if it's connected, but I'm pretty sure it is, this sewage system has failed.
No.
So I think because there's not enough water in the sewage system,
so
they say, they gave me names of roads, there is poop floating down the roads. Now we're talking creches, we're talking quite a large community. This is in Kiruk.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like the satellite suburb, or not satellite, it's a suburb of Rheenendal.
Whoa.
It was great to see some of the other Rheenendal residents, the more affluent ones, were there bringing water, delivering water, and also standing in solidarity.
Good.
So
that's right.
So it was very peaceful, but they were waiting. Now, one of the frustrating things, and I once again I have to say that I'm talking from what the community leaders told me.
Yes, you're reporting it. You're not saying
yes. This is what they have told me happened. So they said they went with one of the policemen in his vehicle. 2 community leaders went there with him to see their councillor, who also lives in Rheenendal.
Okay,
that's Hilton Struble, DA councillor,
Ward 5 councillor.
Yeah. So he.
DA councillor.
Yeah. He was...
That's interesting.
They wanted him to come because they've got a memorandum that they want to hand over.
Yes.
And I think he might have been a little bit nervy of the mob that was there, of the group, because he said no. His
they got in
answer
contact
to them, according to them, his answer was, I'm not a plumber, I'm not an electrician, I can't help.
Okay.
So it's not worth me coming there.
Yeah. Okay, it'd be very good to hear what he... I don't want to say what he
actually
said, but what his actual words were.
So we'll ask, we'll give him the opportunity.
Because that doesn't sound good.
It doesn't sound good. Look, I can understand that, A, he is worried because there's a large amount of very frustrated people. And B, perhaps as the opposition party, he was making a stand to say, I'm not going to stand here and take the blame for this because I'm an opposition councillor. I'm not a leading councillor.
Sure.
Speak to the leading one. I don't know. That could be it as well.
I mean, so there is the DA did issue a kind of a release of condemning it and saying of course, which we all do, say that this mismanagement
is wrong.
It's absolutely wrong.
But they must just do something about it.
Okay.
And so I waited there for quite a while, a few hours actually, and there was lots of toing and froing, but basically discussions. At one stage, one of the more high-ranking police officers stepped forward and called them and was chatting to them. And he said he had been told by council to pass the message on that they were aware of the problems and they were doing something about it. And they would make a plan.
They're doing something and making a plan.
One of the community leaders, he wouldn't give me his name.
Oh, yeah?
He didn't say to the guy, shut up.
Yeah.
But he said, can I say something? He said, if the councillors and the mayor and want to give us that message, they must come here and give it to us.
Yeah.
And make promises, not secondhand promises. So there was anger. There was a lot of anger, but it was kept very, very calm.
Yeah.
As I was leaving to come and actually report this podcast, I saw a few fairly smart-looking cars heading up the Rheenendal Road towards the barricades.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they might have been the councillors because I was told that they may be on their way.
Yeah.
But
I hope so.
I really hope so.
Okay,
but
so,
I couldn't wait any longer. That's I have posted some news about it on Facebook. As the news comes through, I will continue. I've got people there taking pictures and what have you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So people can keep up to date with that on
Yes,
there,
yeah.
and there'll also be a good summary of all of it in the next edition of
paper.
the Age,
Yes, yeah.
which will be next week.
And then you have some news, which is better news. Well, good news.
It is good news. I really hope it's good news. It feels like very, very good news. Good news.
Yes.
We spoke about it a bit last week because there was a video with LaVale Davis, the Ward 1 councillor, and...
Yeah, we're talking about the old Cape Dutch house on the edge of Sedgefield.
That's it, yeah.
You drove past.
I did. I just happened to drive past and I saw a bit of a small crowd there with LaVale. I mean, he sticks out always there.
Yes, hey, he's quite a tall guy.
Yeah, so I stopped by there and there was actually a whole gathering and a kind of opening up of the building for the new owners. Well, so not new.
You're one of the few people that have been inside there.
I got to go inside.
Man, that's amazing.
It's very exciting. It's very beautiful. There was a lot of excitement in this group of people from like Amanda from Southern Cape Realty, who's just who's heading this up, just spearheading it, and bringing in a lot of community support. We'll speak about that. But people from this, the organization who was given this.
Well, give us the headline. What
so
is
it? Western Cape Education and Training are the ones who own this building. It was given to them from Public Works, and what they are using it for and turning it into is a community college.
Wonderful.
Wow. So this is going to be a government-owned and a government-run community college. This is not likely to happen very quickly, and I'll speak a little bit about why as we kind of go through it. But the whole big idea with this is that it's a non-fee community college, and this is for people from really 16 years and up, all the way up. I mean, they spoke about having I don't know if it was in NISA, in the Western Cape, somebody who is even 84 going for their qualification. So it's
a lot of times to write your matric.
Yes. Yeah. But obviously not really attending to it just yet. But now there might be that opportunity over here, which is really, really cool. So it's really primarily there to help people of all these ages to get some school qualifications, to get up to grade 9. And then possibly even further, depending on staffing, depending on kind of the need and everything like that to serve the community, which is just really exciting.
It's very, very cool. Exciting. So it's a seed of it. Well, it's more than a seed. It's a big sapling.
Step.
It's a sapling now. It's grown up from being a seed, and it's a sapling, and we can all see it.
That's right. I mean, there was also the project manager for this whole thing who'd come up from Pretoria.
Wow.
And he was there, and he was saying, 3 or 4 weeks ago, this was on the table for the Department of Higher Education, who oversees this whole thing. And they oversee these guys, the Western Cape Education and Training, and they have 73 centers across the Western Cape.
Wow!
So they are established, they are legit, they are good, but they
know what they're doing.
They do, yeah. They often struggle with the properties, with just having this lease and being kicked out last minute. In fact, one of the big issues is that there's the Knysna Center, and there are too many people there. So there are, as soon as this building might be and is hopefully ready, there are already a bunch of people who could be using it very, very soon.
People that are already in the system.
But have they get sort of closed down mid-class because they're leasing from a place and they're not able to use it well.
Sheesh.
Now, this is all sounding very exciting. A few other exciting things. There was the appeal that was put out there. There has already been a plumber who said that he'll come on board and sort it out, an electrician.
To fix the building up.
To fix the building up.
Wow.
The community stepped up, and it was so great to hear whether it was Amanda or LaVale or anybody from the community just saying, this is a community that cares. You put out an appeal for something that is important, that is something that is good, and people respond.
Wow.
And they absolutely did. I mean, there are Octotel said that they'll sort them out with internet over there. Build It is sponsoring paint. We've got there'll be a mural artist. There is security monitoring done for free as well. All of this is ready at the waiting, and on our side, on the Sedgefield side, we're saying, when can we start?
We're ready. We're ready.
What are we allowed to do?
Because we've all seen that dilapidated building. I mean, it looks beautiful.
It does,
but it looks old, beautiful.
It's crumbly.
It needs work.
So we actually got to go inside.
Oh, and was it like tunnels and goblins and dwarfs and things like that?
They came in after us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they snuck in.
Oh, okay, excellent.
It is looking so exciting. Beautiful fireplace, everything like that. There's a big clincher here. So the project manager who came on, a very down-to-earth guy, very, very nice guy, he was saying, whoa, guys, before we get too excited, we've got to make sure that this space is compliant, that it is safe. If you've got 100 people, you need at least 5 ablutions for that.
Of course.
And all of these types of things.
Yeah.
And he's saying we've got to make sure, and one of the things that he's worried about is if it is a Cape Heritage site. So that's something that was built before 1960s. Which I'm pretty sure this is. I remember speaking to someone and saying that they family of a family stayed there ages.
Yes,
somewhere on there. And there are parts then that you cannot touch and things that you cannot do. If there are window frames that are part of this, that are the site, you can't change the paint on that.
Oh, wow.
It's to that extent. There was another.
My goodness.
There was another building being built in, I think it was Cape Town, where they were building next door to one of these heritage sites, and one of the guys broke a window of that one while doing this building on another site, and he's in jail apparently by all accounts. So it's something that we've got to be incredibly careful of.
Yes,
as we walked through the
don't kick up any stones.
No. But the project manager Sharon, he was speaking about and just pointing out, oh look, we got some structural damage there. There are some big cracks going through.
Okay.
There are issues, but it seems good. It looks like
they wouldn't have come all that way if it wasn't.
There's a dire need, and it looks like there's going to be a big push from it. So there's also a bit of asbestos in the ceilings.
Oh,
it looks like this is not the official report on it.
On the roof,
in fact, the official report is going to be sent out on Monday, or should be prepared on Monday. So we'll be able to speak about that, and then hopefully get something in the age for that.
If we get details on Monday, maybe we can. We can put something in the paper.
But what's also really, really nice, kind of built into this community college idea, is being from the community and for the community, and not just having that kind of as a saying. And that was, you could see the excitement of the lady who is from the organization, just saying, wow. Their biggest problem is that people don't even know that they're around. And here we've got, way before they've stepped in to start doing stuff and getting it set up, we've already got the community who is wanting to do it. And it's just, all of us just stood there, and I feel like we could see each other's goosebumps.
Yeah.
And it was just so exciting.
Sedgefield.
It is.
Hey, isn't that Sedgefield?
Yeah, what a distinctive, just so very cool. Yeah. So I'm not just cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic.
You're very okay. Excellent,
I really am. I think it is so exciting.
You're on their mailing list.
I'm on their mailing list, so we'll be able to keep up with
first-hand information of what the plans, how the plans are progressing.
Yeah,
that's great.
And I think that's about
news.
It. Very, very exciting. Yeah?
Good job.
Okay, very, very good. Let's talk about something else that was actually in the last edition of The Edge, and we wanted to speak about it in the last episode, but I spoke too much about social media. This is a really, really important topic of losing a loved one. There were kind of 2 pages dedicated to this on estate planning and practical steps and things like that. It's not nice to talk about.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's exactly the whole problem. And that's the reason we run it sort of once a year in the paper.
Oh, right. Okay.
Not the same thing. We try and vary it a bit. But there's been instances in Sedgefield where someone, either young or older, loses a loved one, loses a partner, a wife or what have you, and is left really, really battling without any information.
You're dealing with grief.
You're dealing with grief, but for example, did he have life insurance? Yes. Well, who did he have it with?
What do I do?
Did she? Did she did the internet banking? Did she pay the electricity bill? How do I get into internet banking to pay the electricity bill? What's the picture I always have is someone who's really, really grieving, say an elderly lady plonking herself on the couch and saying, I'm just going to watch Netflix, and not knowing that the password for Netflix,
because it's not written down anywhere.
Because it's not written down. So it's basically, the article is on, well, the whole couple of pages dedicated to
there's a lot in there.
What you can do in advance. And it's not like, okay, Bob might die next week, so I must do this. It's basically, it can be well in advance. It doesn't have to. You don't have to have a sick person, whatever. Who knows? Life ends quite suddenly.
No, it does.
So it's basically get yourself a file that both of you know where it is, and if possible, a third friend.
That's it. Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Get yourself a file. Put your passwords in there, or put a hint where the passwords are.
That's
if you're
a
bit scared to put in the
cryptic clues.
Yeah.
You'd be good at those, yeah.
Your life insurance policy, if you have one, a funeral policy, if you have one, investments.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yes.
that Bitcoin is a huge problem?
Yeah.
Because there's no one you can contact if you haven't got the password.
Yeah. If you lose your wallet key, it's gone.
Your wallet key.
There are guys who have lost millions. I saw one story on that.
Yeah.
Wow, of course.
Millions.
Yeah.
Because people go crazy about Bitcoin. They say, wow, we're going to put our life savings in.
Yeah.
Which is all very well. Yeah. It can grow. But if you, as a spouse, do not know that wallet code, did you call it?
Yeah, the key.
There's no one. You even if you get hold of Elon Musk, no one can let you in.
No.
So the money's gone.
Super encrypted.
I know people who've lost not a lot of money. It only just started.
Yeah.
And then it's not like, have you forgotten your password? Click here and we'll send you an email.
Nope, none of that.
Nothing.
That's
and they've lost money on that. So things like that.
That's part of the security of it, yes.
Then the second part is another thing that people don't know is when a member of the family dies, what the next steps are to take.
Yeah.
What do we call the police?
Exactly.
Do we? Does there have to be an investigation?
Yes. I honestly don't know.
You've got to get a death certificate before you can move the body. You've got to get a medical person in to do that, a doctor. Hospice are known to help with that sort of thing.
Okay, that's very good to know.
Then you've got to get hold of a funeral parlor.
Sure.
They will come and help. But all these things that people don't know as unless they've been through it, they don't know as a general idea. And so the aim was just to sort of make life just a little bit easier for them, a little less stressful, so that they know, okay, hang on.
Yeah.
What have I got to do next? Go into automatic mode. I've got to phone this. I've got to phone the life insurance people.
Yeah.
There's a funeral policy. There's the number.
Just having those steps kind of. And that's a very loving thing.
Here's our, would you believe it's happened? Here's our prepaid electricity code.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because you've got to, when you buy it at the shop, you've got to give them your code.
Oh, my word, to
buy electricity.
Sure.
If you don't have that code, then you've got to
Jeez.
start. It's a whole thing.
So I have the temptation to just be stressed out about this, honestly, and be like, oh man, you've listed a few of those things that I have put down and that I have kind of taken care of, but not all of them. And this is actually a very loving thing to do for our loved ones. While we're alive, we want to be able to look after them. I mean, doesn't that sound lovely? Even after we have died, even after we've passed on.
No, absolutely. I mean, I've said to my wife, you've got to learn internet banking. She said, no, you do that. And I said, but what if I waffle? I fall off my perch and push up daisies. She has learned it now, but at the time she was like, no, I don't need to.
Yeah.
But it just to get an idea.
That's it.
Can you imagine the frustration with all that emotional turmoil going on, and all you want to do is pay the funeral parlor,
or just like something, or just draw out some whatever it might be.
Buy electricity.
That's it.
Yes, buy water.
Just make a way to just making it a little bit easier. I'm going to go through those again properly. Give it a good read. I know that I'm a bit younger in many ways, like still in 30s sort of thing, but it does need consideration. And I know my father, who's an estate planner and all that, and you got some estate planners in it as well who advocate strongly for just get your will sorted.
Get your will.
Get your will sorted. That's a very big one. A very practical step.
Yes.
And a very, very important one.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
Absolutely.
There are fights, there are things, awful things that happen around that.
I've heard of couples that are both on their second partners, put it that way.
Yeah.
They were married before.
And widowed, if that's the right term. Yeah.
And they're on their second partners. And suddenly the ownership of stuff, if one partner dies, the other partner doesn't own the stuff.
Yes.
Because
there was that one horrible story told. Yeah. We won't go into that now. But yes, okay. So get a will, read through that. Very, very helpful. Thanks for putting that in there. Hey, some good news. I think it is good news around the Pick and Pay Eagle Stars.
Yeah, Pick and Pay Eagle Stars.
Pick and Pay Eagle Stars.
They played the Maoris.
The Maoris?
Yes.
That's quite a ways to go to play a game of rugby.
Yeah.
To the New Zealand.
Absolutely. So let me find the scores here.
Yeah, we get them from
Maoris
JPs. Yeah.
Started off, well, shame. The second team lost narrowly 12-10.
Whoa, that's close.
Yeah, it was quite close.
That must have been a good game.
And then the first team, well, they went in and they were playing like stars.
Really?
They crossed the line
Eagle
six
Stars.
times. They scored 6 times.
What?
To I think 2 or 3 times the other team.
Yeah.
But then they kind of relaxed a bit, and then the other team 2 quick tries.
Whoa! And then you wake up.
So then the points were really close. It was then it was back to 2 points ahead, which was pretty darn close.
Yeah, that is incredibly
Fortunately, then the last guy, Gershwin, what was his name? Dion Godfrey.
Yeah.
He scored in the last minutes.
Whoa.
A spectacular try.
Oh, that's exciting.
So that pushed the score up.
So exciting.
End score was 44-36.
Oh, 44-36. Sure,
44. That's a lot of tries.
That is. That's a big scoring match. Very exciting.
Yeah.
They got another match coming up in Oudtshoorn on Saturday.
17th of May. Yeah.
17th of May.
Saturday. It's in Oudtshoorn. The Bridgeton Collegians.
Awesome.
That's very posh, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be good to hear what comes up from there. Also, to note is that load shedding is back. Of course, we do know this. Just make sure you check out for the schedule. It's only, load shedding is only kind of switched on as a concept from 4 in the afternoon through to 10 at night. We were affected a few times this week already in Sagefield, but it doesn't seem from my gazes, but I don't trust me on this. Check the app or check what Cleon is sending out on the group. But yeah, it seems like we're not going to be affected for the next few days.
We'll have to watch the groups. I don't know.
Yeah, but just
say never.
Exactly, it changes at the drop of down, drop of a hat, drop of switch.
Drop of
really. Yeah, unfortunately.
And that's it.
Yeah, no, that does it for us for this week.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Let's hope the municipality does get the water sorted.
Oh my goodness,
Get those pumps going. Stop making grand announcements and
doing nothing.
Yeah, get it done. Okay. But thank you very much.
Thank you for the
chat.
chat.
Real.
No, it has.